First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak, Kodash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. All right, wanted to do a lesson, going into prophecy. All right, which that's what we're always going into, but more specifically, the uncomfortable side, all right, of prophecy. All right, which going into the time of Jacob's trouble. All right, going into the time of persecution, going into the time of all the prophecies that we eagerly prophesy about. As I titled it, we're waiting for it, but are you ready for it? And that's something to ask yourself, because we are oftentimes on the watchtower, constantly looking at what's coming, and praying for fewer days, and seeking this destruction and seeking these calamities to come. But in the process of doing that, we can't forget to also prepare ourselves at the same time. Because as a watchman, all right, being on the watchtower, and you're seeing let's say another nation come to attack your country, all right, or your land, you warn them, but what you don't just stay on the watchtower. You stay on the you stay on the watchtower, you warn them, and then you prepare as well, because you need to also get to safety. So with the times of Jacob's trouble to come, you got to prepare most of all your mind, because it's going to be so bad that really, without the Spirit of the Lord, no amount of preparation is going to be able to hold you down, all right, except for the Spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Right now, what I mean by that is going into things like when we say, or when the scriptures say that we're gonna have to be pilgrims upon the face of the earth, some brothers are gonna have to go through that situation, or I should say some of the elect are gonna have to go through that situation. Now, it's one thing to say it and it's one thing to read about it, but it's another thing to experience it. Okay, it's another thing to have to actually sleep outside on a park bench, or not be able to go back to your house, or to be temporarily split from your family. That's saying it is different than experiencing it. And you're gonna have certain individuals who are gonna be so eager for us to enter into this time, and the time comes and you're not able to stand strong and endure on to the end. Okay, so one thing we also got to pray for is for the spirit of strength and endurance, all right, to be able to fulfill our lot, to the best of our ability. Right now, this is the book of Hebrews, chapter 10, verse 35. It says, "Cast not away, therefore, your confidence, which hath great recompense of reward." All right, which when you break that word down, it basically means with faith. All right, so cast not away your confidence, all right, your faith, your stability, your strength in this truth, all right, which hath great recompense of reward. So recompense being what you'll get in return. So this faith that we have, cast it not away, because it's gonna profit you in the end. All right, this faith that we have may not seem like the world. See, faith. The world doesn't really value faith right now, because everything is tangible. Everything is easily accessible. People don't need to have faith in their life, because they live according to the flesh. They don't put their trust in Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. They think that they run the show. So they think that they put their trust in themselves. They're able to do whatever it is that they seek to do. So why have faith in somebody else? Why have faith in the Most High? I remember there was somebody left a comment on my comment board, a while back, talking about damn, I forgot what they said, but they said, basically, word, if that's how the Most High is, then I don't want him to answer any of my prayers anymore. I think basically it was going into like Israelite foreigners, and the person with lack of understanding for that, they're like, if the Most High gonna answer their prayers, then I don't want him answering any my prayers anymore. And that's like, speaking from a really a proud perspective, because you don't even realize how much the Most High does for you, because the Most High controls everything. All right. So you don't even realize how much the Most High does for you, that you're saying all this, that, and the third. Because if the Most High willed it, you could be dead in an instant, All right. So going back to the point, this world doesn't have they don't feel the need to exercise faith. They don't feel the need to have faith. They don't feel the need to strengthen their faith. All right. And because of that, when all hell breaks loose, as the scriptures say, our faith is going to keep us through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Right? As where somebody else is going to bug out and lose their minds, we are going to be calm because we're going to be expecting, through faith, we're going to be expecting deliverance from Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. All right. So that's why it says, which hath great recompense of reward. Verse 36, for ye have need of patience, that after ye have done the will of the Most High, ye might receive the promise. So we have need of patience because after what? After we've done our works, after we've pleased the Lord, after we've labored and woken up his elect and, taught his sheep, fed his sheep. All right. It says, ye might receive the promise. All right. And that promise ultimately is the kingdom. But in order to get into the kingdom, we need to be delivered, because we're going to go through a time of great tribulation before entering into the kingdom. Through much tribulation shall we enter into the kingdom. All right. Now, yes, we are eager for Jacob's trouble, not because we're some crazed maniacs who love, pain and like to see people in pain and love to go through harsh conditions. No, but we understand that after Jacob's trouble, or through Jacob's trouble, comes our deliverance, comes the return of Yahushua. And that's the only way. If we don't go through Jacob's trouble, we can't get to the kingdom. It's like time. There's no way of going around it. It's an event that is set in time. It's prophecy. So that's why we push for it so hard. But in pushing for it so hard, you always have to remember, keep in your mind, don't get so caught up in, constantly being eager that you fail to prepare. That's like if you wake up in the morning and you're so excited, for it to be 9 o'clock so you could go on this trip or go wherever it is you're trying to go. And you're so excited, constantly looking at the time, that you forget to take a shower and put on clothes. And here it is, it's now 8:50, and then you're like, oh shoot, oh man, let me go and take a shower, and then you end up being late. And maybe it just doesn't work out. All right, so, applying that to this in a sense, yes, we're excited to see these prophecies, but while, these prophecies are manifesting and are coming to pass, also remember that we are going to be inside Jacob's trouble. All hell's going to be breaking loose. The Lord is going to deliver us, but we're going to be living in the world that is going to be breaking down, that is going to be going through tribulation like never before. So we're going to see things and experience things that we've never experienced before. Things that might not necessarily kill us, but might make us uncomfortable, and shalom. So, hey, going 2-3 days without eating is not a fun thing. Right now we're used to eating because we're still humans. We're used to being able to drive a car or go upstairs, or, if it's cold, turn on the heater, whatever the case may be, get on your cell phone and watch YouTube videos or text a brother or do whatever it is you do, call, whatever, we're used to that. So, hey, even for us, it's going to be a transition. That's why we're going to need the Spirit of the Lord. But it starts with preparing your mind, knowing that you're going to have to possibly go through things like this, whatever time of the year, whatever season it is that we're in, understand that we're going to have to go through things like this, So are you prepared for that? Because, like I said, it's one thing to say it, but when you're actually in it and you're battling the elements and you're hot or you're cold or you're hungry, you're getting tempted, that hour of temptation, there's still going to be a temptation. The point of the Lord keeping us, pursuant to Revelation 3:10. All right. So I'll get that real quick. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 3, verse 10. It says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell on the earth. So we're still going to be tempted, but we're going to be given the Spirit to be able to through that temptation, the Lord is going to make a way for us to escape. So we're also going to be, and it's going to be hard on us because we're going to be the ones affected most, because for people who consent onto it, they're going to think that they're in a good case. They're going to think, oh, well, I could eat, for however short span that is, I could go to work, I got a house, I could pay for things. As where you can't do that, how are you going to get your next meal? How are you going to do this? How are you going to do that? All right. So we're going to need the Spirit of the Lord to keep us, But we're still going to be in a time where we can't function because we're not a part of this system, where people look at you as though you're a terrorist because you're not like them, you know, where sometimes you may feel as though, you know, why are you still doing this? You know, why are you still doing this? Because shit, everybody's against you, you know, but that's the Lord testing your faith, you know. So remember, you might be put in situations like that. You know, Yahushua being the Messiah, you know, being the top man that he is, even he got to a point where he felt, you know, he had to pray to the Lord to if it was possible to let the cup pass, because it wasn't comfortable, you know. It wasn't, and he knew from coming from the spirit world, coming onto the earth, selecting his disciples, teaching with them. He told them that was going to happen. He knew, he prepared in his mind. He knew what he had to go through. But even in that moment, in his hour of temptation, he still felt that weakness of the flesh, to where he had to pray for the Lord to put the Spirit on him. So we got to remember that, yeah, we're going to be delivered, but we're also going to be put through certain situations and tried. Every brother's story might not be the same. Some brothers might not catch hell like that. Some brothers might, you know. So going back to Hebrews 10, there's a point here in keep reading. It says, verse 36, for ye have need of patience, that after ye have done the will of the Most High, ye might receive the promise. For yet, and that's why we labor, you know, we're all laboring because we want the promise, you know. For yet a little while, and he that shall come will come and will not tarry. But in that little while before he gets here, we got to maintain our ground. We got to stay in the spirit, you know. We got to endure unto the end. We have to take those words which the Lord gave us, hold it dear, and put it to practice. All right. It says, now the just shall live by faith. So if you're weak in faith, you should start praying to the Lord for more faith. You know, and faith isn't something that just comes randomly, you know, it comes through experience, because faith is an experience. You know, you go through certain situations that force you to have faith, and that's how you have faith. That's how you increase faith. You know, it's just like working out. You know, you want to get stronger, you have to lift heavier. You know, you have to actually perform. You know, like for example, if I want to lift 30-pound dumbbells, I need to actually try to lift 30-pound dumbbells, you know, and that's literally what you have to do. So if you want more faith, the Lord will put you in a position that'll force you or require you to exhibit more faith, you know. That way, by the time you exhibit, he basically forces it out of you. In essence, he educates you because he draws out that potential within you, you know. So here it is, you may be exhibiting faith on maybe a 5% level, and you want 10% faith. The Lord will put you in a position where instead of, you know, you being in a situation where just using 5% of faith, which you normally do, can get you out of it, it's going to require you to use 10% of faith. And that means what? Upping up the danger and upping up the temptation, whatever situation you may be in, you know. Certain situations might not be as dire, so you'll have faith the Lord will deliver you from it, you know. But certain situations, it's so bad that literally if the Lord doesn't deliver you from it, you're done. There's no way, you can't reverse it. It's that bad. That's when you're forced, you know, to exhibit more faith. So in a situation like that, you actually have to be put in that situation, and you actually have to do it. You actually, if you want more faith, you have to show, and I don't know even how to put it into words, but you just have to do it. You know, the Lord is going to bring it out of you by putting you under the pressure. Right. So, verse 38, now the just shall live by faith, but if any man draw back, my soul shall have no pleasure in him. And that's the key point. You know, we are, you know, we're waiting for it. You know, we're looking forward to it. All right. But are you ready for it? Because if you're not ready, and like it says here, you draw back, you know, you keep your sword from blood. And that's not literal, you know, in the sense of, you know, you're not willing to go all out for the Lord. The scriptures say, Paul said, what? We have not resisted unto blood. So it might be easier to resist when it's just words and doctrine and narrative and dogma and persecution and propaganda. But when it becomes physical and things get scary and things get uncertain, because of the flesh trying to, come at you and demons trying to attack you and this, that, and the third, are you still going to be able to keep that same level of resistance and maintain that same level of faith? These are things you got to meditate on. All right? Because there's going to be a time when you'll be put in a situation where you're like, damn, like this shit is real. And we've all gone through those situations where you get that dose of reality about how, damn, the truth, being in the truth is not easy. Because, we go through our day-to-day daily activities, but then every now and then the Lord will throw like a wrench in there, that'll totally mess you up, and you're forced in that situation, to have faith, but you remember like, damn, this is not fun. This is not, a sweet thing, but it's necessary. Okay. So it says, the Lord said he shall have no pleasure in you. So we want to make it to the kingdom, but what if you in Jacob's trouble and the Lord says, well, your story, you might speak about having faith, because when you picture Jacob's trouble, you picture the Lord giving you spiritual power and you getting delivered, and the second any danger comes your way, an angel steps in and swoops in and delivers you. So it's easy for you to imagine yourself having faith in those times, because when you think of Jacob's trouble, that's what you're imagining. Yeah, all hell's going to be breaking loose, but the Lord is going to protect me. So then what happens when all hell starts breaking loose, and the way you imagined, or the quickness and the swiftness you imagined the Lord delivering you with, is not what he does. Instead, he tries you. Instead, when the troops come, you don't get spiritual power. Instead, they grab you up and they gun butt you, and that shit hurts. And you're like, oh shoot, and you're bleeding. You getting kicked and stomped out, and you on the floor, and you're like, what the hell is going on? That's when your faith is being tested, because now what you thought Jacob's trouble was going to be like, what you imagined this was going to be like, is not what you're going through. So now you're like, oh shit, like, damn, it's not as easy to have faith as I thought it was, because when I thought of having faith, I thought of they come and then I just believe and I'm flying, but that's not what's happening. So now your whole agenda, your whole program is messed up, and now you all on, disoriented, like, damn, Lord, what's going to happen now? All right. What? Kristen say you a cult white people don't understand, who believe white people or black people. Hey bro, listen bro, do us a favor and just exit, bro. Exit the stream. It's not for you. It's fine. All right, it's not for you. But hey, like I was saying, man, so you going through these situations, but that's when you have to remember some of them special precepts, man. Like Job said, though he slay me, yet will I, maintain my trust in him. You're going to have a different perspective of that. You're going to be like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's going to be hard to even utter that, because being slain is not fun. But you being slain, but you gotta maintain the faith, man. You like, damn, this is, it's like almost like you getting done dirty, but you gotta be happy about it. Hey, man, certain times, man, it's not the most fun thing. All right. But like the verse 39 says, but we are not of them who draw back onto perdition. Because what's going to happen if you draw back? No matter how hard it gets, what's going to happen if you draw back? You are going to get destroyed. All right. It says, but of them that believe to the saving of the soul. And the saving of the soul is not going to be as easy as you think it is. For some people, we don't look, man. That's why certain people ask you certain questions specifically. We can't tell you certain things because we don't even know certain things. Like if you ask me, what are you going to be doing 2 weeks into Jacob's trouble? I don't know what I'm going to be doing 2 weeks into Jacob's trouble. I don't know if I'm even going to, I don't know if I'm going to be in my house or if I'm going to be in a different location or if I'm going to be driving somewhere, or I don't know. If you fast forward 2 weeks from whenever it starts into it, then you find out. But we don't know exactly what's going to be happening. Right. So, you gotta pray that the Lord keeps you, but you gotta be prepared in your mind, for a worst case scenario. Are you gonna be able to maintain your faith? What about you when a couple brothers are in the concentration camp and, yeah, we got this. Remember all the times we was preaching about it until you see the brother get beheaded in front of you, to where Maybe 30 seconds before, he was talking, he was walking, he was exhorting you. And now 30 seconds after, his head is rolling there and there's blood gushing out from his neck. And now you're handcuffed and they're pushing you forward like, come up, you know? Now, seeing that is different than hearing it. The brother might have been telling you, hey, look, don't worry about it. I'm going to go, but I'm going to be in the spirit world waiting for you. You might be like, yeah, Khan. And then you see his head get chopped off, and then your flesh tries to overpower you like, hold up, wait, time out, you know? Then you start thinking, so you gotta prepare your mind like, yo, what about seeing something like that? Am I still gonna be able to? And that's why you pray, you know? That's why it says the Lord is gonna keep us, because it is natural human instinct to want to preserve your life. But remember, the scripture said, he that seeketh to save his life shall lose it. So you might be on some, your flesh might freeze up. Exactly, like the brother said, it's different when you're in this situation. Your flesh might freeze up, but that's when the Spirit of the Lord comes upon you and pushes you and makes you do it. You know, all of a sudden the fear disappears, you know, and then you're able to just, you know, oh yeah, you know what, light work, go through it. You know, all that fear disappears and you're able to just do what you got to do. All right. So let me see some of these precepts on here, these percepts. All right, Salakia, because I'm on you know, Streamlabs, so you know I'm still looking at how to maneuver this thing, you know, so it's not like regular YouTube where I could just kick people off and time them out and, you know, get them out of here and so on and so forth. Let's see what brothers have on here. All right, this is man, this is some good precepts. All right, this is Chakam Banyamyan, Revelation 3 and 2. Be watchful and strengthen the things which remain that are ready to die, for I have not found thy works perfect before the Most High. See, so hey, and going into when the Lord was basically getting on those churches, he was telling them, yeah, look, you guys are doing this is good. You guys are doing that, this is good, but this is where you need to pick up, or this is where you're slacking, or this is where you need to strengthen yourself, or else I'm going to take your candlestick, you know? So we got to remember that, hey, look, you know, we're watching the times, we're doing our videos, we're doing what we got to do, but we also got to be developing ourselves in the spirit, you know? And we only know how to do that by way of reading the scriptures, fasting, praying, and just maintaining a spiritual mind. That's how you maintain your connection, you know, to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Because we're in the flesh. We live in a world where people live after the flesh. So we're constantly seeing worldly, carnal things. So we have to do our best whenever we get the chance to just lock into the spirit, to remain in the spirit, to literally jump into the spirit. You know, it's almost like being in a different world, you know, because you're reading the scriptures, or you're watching a video, or you're just remaining in holy conversation. You know, and that's constantly rejuvenating your spirit and keeping you alive. See, as the scriptures say, if you're not doing what you got to do, the Lord is going to take away whatever you have. So, you know, hey, you may know certain things, the Lord may give you certain things, but the scary thing is he can take it away. Because if he gives you something and you're not using it, he can take it away. You can start off having a lot of faith, but your faith can diminish, you know? So it's not a one thing, but it's like you got to balance it, you know? You got to balance it, because your faith can be diminished. The Lord can take that away from you. He can take away your knowledge. He can take away whatever it is if you're not utilizing it. If you just think, oh, just because I have it, I'm going to just put it there. I already have it. It's fine. And just go do whatever. And then when the time comes, I'll come and dig it up and use it. It's not going to be, it's going to shrink and shrink and shrink. And by the time you get there, there's nothing going to be there. You have to preserve your faith. You know, you have to literally, like a fire, you know, you have to keep it going. You have to preserve it. You got to throw those spiritual logs in there. You know, you got to feed the fire of your faith. That's a lesson right there. I gotta keep that in mind. Feed the fire of your faith. You know, you got to feed it, you know, and how do you feed it? You read, you fast, you pray. And each of those things are like throwing a log, you know, into the fire. And it's constantly keeping your faith and your spirit, you know, burning. There's times when you may read something and the Lord might give you a nugget, and to where you throw in a giant, you know, log up in there, and your fire just woo, You know, your fire just goes up, and you'll see, you know, a brother doing like damn near 20 videos in a week. You know, because the Lord just threw one of them big ass logs, you know, into his flame, and it just boom. You know, and then it'll cool down again. You know, but he's still maintaining it. You know, so hey, that's why when you stop reading, you know, you stop reading for a while, you stop watching videos for a while, you're not maintaining your fire at the level or the heat that it's supposed to burn. You'll feel out of the spirit. You'll feel uncomfortable. You'll feel weird, because it's almost like you're spiritually sick. You know, like you're under a spiritual infirmity, because you're not keeping your fire burning at a certain area. You know, like your body has to maintain homeostasis, right? So it has to balance itself out. And when you're sick, you know, your body you might have a fever. Your body might raise its temperature to kill some of the germs and bacteria and so on, the viruses, you know. But your body's ultimately doing that so it can try to come back and balance out and maintain that homeostasis. So if you go too hot or too cold, then it's a problem. That's the same thing with your faith, with your spirit, right? If you get too hot or too cold, you know, then you got to balance it. You know, you got to balance it out. So you got to continuously feed that fire, man. All right. I don't know if you brothers are able to do it. You know, for those, if I have any moderators on here, I don't know what's the deal with Gerald Mejia, bro. I don't, you know, what you're saying, you know, it's not really making sense. So it's either you be quiet and listen, all right, or one of the moderators, I don't know if you guys are able to do it from YouTube, just, you know, is gonna remove you or put you on timeout, all right, because, you know, it takes away from the lesson, you know, and you don't want to be the guy that's taken away from the lesson, all right. So, you know, right back into it, you got to continuously feed that fire, you know. Yeah, keep that lamp burning, you know, keep that lamp burning, keep the oil going. Hey, like the parable with the 10 virgins, you know. Strive for the masteries, 144, 1 Corinthians 9:14. Even so hath the Lord ordained that they which preach the gospel should live of the gospel. Exactly. You know, so guess what? When we do these lessons, we're bringing you logs. You know, we're bringing you logs so that you can put that into your fire and spark it up. You know, but at the same time, we're bringing ourselves logs. You know, so hey, as you're you know, you're meditating. All right, let me you know, I'm thinking of a lesson, or I'm doing this, or I'm planning this. That's like you chopping down that wood. You know, you chopping it down, bringing it to good size. You know, and then you distribute it. You know, so whoever comes across your video, oh shoot, you know, as they listen, oh, you know, damn, that really hit me different. That's that log. You know, that you just tossed it into their fire. You know, so it may grow their faith, you know, or they may get cut. You know, it may be a rebuke video, or it may not be a rebuke video, but it just might rebuke them, and they may get cut, and they might need to reflect on themselves. But after that reflection, they get that log, and then their fire goes up. You know, so we're constantly building each other up, you know, strengthening each other. But remember, you have to maintain that fire, man. All right. So let's see where I was. I know I read in Hebrews. Let me get some more of the comment board. All right, so let's see what brothers got on here. Yep, strive for the masteries, 144, Sirach 2:1. My son, if thou comes to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. You got to know it comes with the territory. You know, you want to serve the Lord, you want to make it to the kingdom, you want a new body, you know, you want to experience what it's like to be a God. Prepare for temptation, because the Lord ain't just gonna have anybody just come on in. This is a big deal. You know, this is a big deal, because at the same time, the Lord is recruiting his kings, his governing body, you know, his elect. You gotta fit under a certain category. The Lord, and that's why he puts you through certain situations, whether in the brotherhood, whether in your daily life, you know, and he sees, okay, who's doing what? How is this brother doing this? How is he doing that? You know, does he have the heart, you know, of a true shepherd? Because a shepherd is like a king of the sheep, you know, because what is he doing? He's leading them, but he's also caring for them. He knows them. He's protecting them. So a shepherd is like the king of the sheep. And if Israel is likened unto a sheep and you are a shepherd, then guess what? You're likened unto a king over the people. So the Lord is looking at you. Okay, well, how do you treat people around you? How do you think? Where's your mind at? And he's using that to say, okay, you're not going to go far. I'm definitely not going to have you be a king over my people, because based on how you act around your brothers or how you act in your daily life. And that's one thing I always say as well is, look, sometimes somebody might do you wrong and the Lord will allow them to do you wrong. But it's not because he just wants them to do you wrong. He's looking not at them and what they did, but at you and how you react. Because sometimes your true character shows when you're done wrong, not when you're done right. Because if you do somebody right, everybody's gonna give you a basic sort of at least a generic response, which is like a thank you or like a gratitude, right? Or some form of something like that, right? But when somebody gets done wrong, there's a whole plethora of reactions that you'll see. You do somebody wrong, they may let it go. You do somebody else wrong, they may not let it go. Now, those are two basic reactions. Somebody reacts positively, somebody reacts negatively, somebody's neutral. But even within those categories, you have subcategories. Somebody who doesn't let it go, do they react right away? Do they hold a grudge? Do they plot on you? Do they try to get you back? Somebody who does let it go, do they let it go but still bring it up? Do they let it go verbally but keep it in their mind? All these different things the Lord is looking at. So he may put you in a position where you just get done dirty. Like that you are right or you are innocent, and it wasn't even your fault, but you're just in that position and nobody's trying to justify it for you. You're just in it. The Lord is doing that to test your character, to see how do you act, because it says more about you. Your reaction says more about you. You can be right in something, but you can be wrong in the way you go about it. And the Lord might say, nah, I don't want you because of that. Not because you were wrong, but because you were wrong about it, but you were wrong in how you went about it. You were right, but I didn't like the way you did it. Somebody may have offended you and you had the right to be angry, but what you did when you were angry, I didn't like. And so for that, I'm taking away your spot. So we also have to remember that whatever situations we go through, look inward, as well. Yeah. Outside factors, sin could jump on people. But what is he really trying to do? He's really trying to get to you, Because whatever you do, ultimately, some people's actions, can influence your actions, but they can also not. Because somebody could slap you or somebody could piss you off. Now, what you do in return, you can let whatever action they did dictate how you react. Or you can lock into the spirit and think of what's the most sensible spiritual thing to do right now. Should I just straight up get carnal right away? Somebody upset me or somebody talk shit about me. Somebody talk shit about me. So now I'm going to go find wherever they at and I'm going to get physical with them. I'm going to beat their ass and put my fist inside their eye sockets and twist that joint left, right, put my right toe inside his second rib and just pluck that joint out. The Lord is looking at you like, yo, hold up, what? Bro, calm down. You're supposed to be a spiritual man, but you get done dirty in the slightest and your true character shows. And that's what the Lord is looking for. He's like, no, I can't have you be a king over my people. You will be a whole tyrant. You'll get so carnal so quickly. I can't have that. So sometimes we're put in positions where what we want is not what's right. We may be right about it, but how we want to go about it might not be the best way to go about it. So it's always good to think about that as well. All right. This is Strive for the Masteries 144, 1 Peter 5 and 6. Humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of Yahweh, that he may exalt you in due time. All right. Beautiful precept. Jacob, Judah, Israel, Exodus 31:3, and I have filled him with the spirit of the Most High in wisdom and in understanding and in knowledge and in all manner of workmanship. See, being in the truth, you may think, well, I know things, but the truth is not just about knowledge. It's not just about knowledge. You have knowledge and you have wisdom and you have understanding, and you can tell what level somebody has based on their character, based on how they move, how they behave, their actions, because you may talk to somebody, or you may watch somebody's videos and they're going into this, they're breaking down this, they're jumping over here. You're like, damn, man, this guy knows everything. But then you hear that, this guy went and did this, that, and the third, and he got arrested or whatever. So you might say, well, him? But you may expect, just because he knows a lot of things, that he understands a lot of things, or he knows how to use wisdom in situations. But that might not be the case. He just knows things, So it's not just about knowing things. Yeah, we learn, but as we learn, we also have to apply what we learn. But before you can apply what you learn, you need to understand what you're learning, And when you understand what you're learning, you can move with wisdom. See, you may see a brother that might not bring out 10 billion precepts. His lessons may be basic, straight to the point, and you get the message. But you around this brother and you're like, yo, I feel secure. Like, this brother is very responsible. He's very sensible. He gives great advice. Sometimes I may lose my cool or my temper, and I talk to him and I calm down. He allows me to, think about it in a different way, to where I can avoid getting in unnecessary trouble. Guess what? If anything comes, you're going to rely on that brother more. If you had the choice of both, you're going to say, no. You may know a lot of things, but I'm not putting my security in your hands. Because you may know a lot of things, but you don't know how to use what you know. You don't know how to apply that. You're going to get us messed up. And you may say his brother might not be as deep as you are, but guess what? Because of how he moves, I'm with that. Like, shit, whatever. Hey, the scriptures say, what's that precept? It says, he that is have little understanding, but feareth the Most High, is better than him that have, basically great understanding. There's a scripture, I think it's in the Apocrypha. I hope I didn't butcher it while quoting it. But that's the case, man. Chacham Banyamyan, Proverbs 16:32. He that is slow to anger is better than the mighty, and he that ruleth his spirit than he that taketh a city. Exactly. Because really, if you're slow to anger, you're smart, you're wise, you have understanding. Because you understand what happens when you just give into your anger. The water, True Awakening 777, that's the one, Sirach 19:24. He that hath small understanding and feareth the Most High is better than one that hath much wisdom and transgresseth the law of the Most High. Why? Because you got small understanding, but you fear the Lord. The Lord, look, what does that bring? Humility. It means you're humble because you have small understanding, so you're not puffed up with pride, but you fear the Lord above all. You're like, look, man, I may not know everything in the world, but I know that I'm not going to go and transgress the laws of the Lord. I know that if this woman has a man, I'm staying away from her. I know that, I'll do what the Lord says. The Lord loves somebody like that, man. It says it's better than one that hath much wisdom and transgresseth the law of the Most High. The Lord hates somebody like that. You know why? Because if you have much wisdom, you should know better. If you have much wisdom, you should know better than to transgress the law of the Most High. But for somebody who doesn't have that much understanding, but he fears the Lord, what you think is going to happen? The Lord's going to raise him up. So as much as this truth is about knowing things, it's also about applying it and practicing what you preach. And we preach that they're gonna come and persecute us. We're gonna be put in certain situations. So prepare yourself, because you may end up in that position, and you can't bug out. Here it is. You read Revelation 2:10. The devil shall cast some of you into prison, and you go into it and you break it down to the T. You give vivid examples. You do, you paint the picture in the listener's mind, but then it happens to you and you lose your mind as if you didn't even know a precept like that existed. How did I end up in this? Oh my, I'm in a constant, what? No, I'm not supposed to be here. What do you mean you're not supposed to be here? You know, what the Lord decides is where you're going to be, you know, but you got to prepare yourself, man, because you may be reading Revelation 2 and 10. You may be reading about people being cast into prison, and you may be imagining yourself standing outside looking at somebody else in there. But then the Lord might have the story to where you're the one who's in that prison. Are you ready for that? You know, are you ready? That's one thing as well. You know, we can't, you know, predetermine in our minds how we expect the Lord to deliver us, because that could get you messed up as well. Now, what's written, the Lord is going to deliver us, cool, but he didn't give specifics. It's also written that we're going to get beamed up into a chariot. That we know. So when the Lord comes back, we calling on him because we know how that's going to go, right? We know there's only one way. You getting beamed up, right? But in terms of famine, the Lord said we're going to eat during the famine. He didn't give specifics. So you going around imagining yourself in some abandoned mansion somewhere, food all on the table, you kicking your feet up eating, and in reality, you might end up in the back of an alleyway somewhere trying to find a little can of beans trying to eat that, you know? And hey, the reality may be very different than what you imagined. That doesn't mean lose faith, because ain't nobody the Lord didn't come and tell you that what you imagined was what he was going to do. But because you imagined it, you thought that it was reality. The Lord is like, bro, hey, there ain't nowhere in your life did I write that for you. I didn't say that was gonna happen to you. You imagined that, you know. Them beans is what you eating today. You know, so it's better to go into it and just have the faith. Look, the Lord says he's gonna deliver me. He didn't say specifically how. He just said he's gonna deliver us. So just, you know, have that mind, like, okay, he could do this, he could do that, he could do this, but we gotta wait and see how he's gonna do it. All right. I know some brothers have put up some more up here. All right. Going back up, rehearsing righteous acts 9, 1 Samuel 12 and 24. Only fear the Lord and serve him in truth with all your heart, for consider what great things he have done for you. Exactly, man. Sometimes you gotta look back. You know, you gotta look back in your life, man, because that's how you really see the hand of the Lord working in your life. You gotta look back, you know, in your life, where you started, there's some things that you pray for, but the Lord answers it over a long period of time. You know, so it's so subtle. The changes are so subtle that you don't notice it right away. And then when you look back, you're like, oh, shoot. Where I am now is where I prayed to be maybe 2 years ago. But within the span of the 2 years, the Lord was answering the prayers slowly but surely. So you don't really notice it. So that's why it's good to reflect in your life and be grateful. Hey, you got to be grateful to the Lord, not just because, well, I prayed for something and he answered it right here and here, so I'm going to be thankful for that. You got to be thankful for the kind of life you were living when the Lord took you out of it and then brought you into this truth, you know? Because if he left you on that path, man, I mean, you would have just been destroyed, okay? You would have been destroyed, man. You know, so, hey, going back to the point, you know, yeah, we're excited for these prophecies. We're excited for Jacob's trouble, but you got to, you know, prepare yourself, man. You know, prepare yourself in the spirit, prepare mentally, and pray to the Lord, you know, that as Paul said, roughly paraphrasing, that having taught everything, he ends up being a castaway, you know, because he didn't subject his members, you know. So you don't want to end up as somebody that I taught and I preach, and through my preaching, others gain faith, but I didn't even believe in the words that I preached, so much so that here I am in the situation that I kept talking about, but I'm out here scared as shit, and I'm damn near again tempted to take this chip. You don't want to end up in that position, you know. So you got to pray, you know, to the Heavenly Father that he puts the Spirit on you to practice what you preach, you know, that to where you're exhorting brothers and telling them not to take the chip. You better pray that the Lord puts the Spirit on you for you not to take the chip, because as much as we're building each other up, we also got to seek our salvation with fear and with trembling, you know. So I may know, hey, don't take the chip. Hey, yo, don't take the chip. But what happens if he doesn't and I do it, you know? So as I'm telling you not to take the chip, I'm praying that I don't end up taking it, you know, because whether you take the chip or not is up to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Whether you do whatever you do or not, it's up to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. So you pray that he, you know, he got a good story written for you, and that he has mercy on you, and he delivers you, and hey, Lord willing, your loved ones as well, you know. That's it. Strive for the masteries 144. Khan, like the Christians say, he may not come when you want him, but he's always on time. Exactly. Hey, the Most High's time is the perfect time. It may not be with your time, but you're not perfect. The Most High is perfect. You know, so he may be late to you, but really he's on time. You know? So, hey, we got to trust in the Lord. You know, however he set it up for us, you know, have faith in him, man. Because the Lord is not a man that he's going to lie. What reason does the Lord have to lie? He could just say no. If the Lord wasn't going to deliver us, he would say, look, nigga, I ain't delivering you. All right? You're going to die over there. You're going to die in Babylon. You're not coming out. You know? But there's somebody in here that's going to be delivered. There's Revelation 7, there's a remnant. There's an innumerable multitude that is going to be delivered. There's somebody who Yahushua is coming for in them chariots. Somebody got to make it out. You know? So that gives us hope. We like, all right. We're gonna do our best, so Lord willing, we are part of that somebody, you know, because one way or another, them chariots are coming, you know. So we know that the Lord said he's gonna deliver us. So you gotta trust in it and just, you know, pray that the works you do, you know, and the sincerity you have in doing them, all right, is enough to please the Lord, man. Because pride could be the scriptures say pride goes before a fall. Pride could be the reason you don't end up on a chariot, man, and you're gonna regret it for the rest of eternity. You know, because in the back of your mind, we still gonna have that thought like, damn, because of pride. Simple pride, man. Simple pride. I lost all of that. You know, you don't want that, man. True Awakening 777, Philippians 2 and 12. Wherefore, my beloved, as ye have always obeyed, not as in my presence only, but now much more in my absence, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. That's a beautiful precept, and we're going to end it off on that. Lord willing, you were edified. You already know the times we're in. All right, so don't let your guard down. You know, every day that goes by, continue strengthening yourself in the spirit, you know, and it starts first and foremost by prayer, man. Prayer is a #1 thing. Prayer works. All right, so you have to pray in faith and believe it. All right, so in closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Ruach HaKodesh. Yeah, and Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Barakatham to you all. Shalom.